Hello fire signs, this is your reading for the week beginning the 29th of August. This is Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, and I have male and female clarifiers with my Lenormand deck. So your oracle card for the coming up week is the Mermaid of Immersion. It has come time to completely involve yourself. You have been holding back, only going so far with a new project or with a commitment to yourself, always pulling back at the last moment from taking the step. You're holding a part of yourself back, watching, judging, always assessing whether this is right or wrong. You're surrounding yourself, excuse my dog with his ball, you're surrounding yourself with what you consider to be protection and what humans call buffer zones. And you claim you want change, you claim you wish to understand, you claim you wish to have this done. If this is true, the time has come to take a deep breath, dive off the edge of the cliff and immerse yourself fully in the waters of change. Go underneath to the truth of what has happened and surround yourself only with what supports that change. The time has come to remove the buffer zones and to have enough faith in your friendships and family relations to know that if they are meant to be, they will be there when you return. You need not take this plunge. It is not compulsory, but it is what you have claimed you wanted. Come with me, I will teach you how to breathe underwater, and then finally the truth you have claimed you have been reaching for will be yours. So a lot of procrastination, a lot of hold-ups, a lot of maybes or woulda, shoulda, couldas for my fire signs. Aries, it's becoming really clear to you with the Seven of Cups in reverse here that you maybe make a choice in a matter that you're, going ahead with. The Seven of Cups in its upright position represents a lot of options. Certainly not all of them are good, but this is bringing clarity to your situation. This is having a restored sense of direction. This is getting rid of any fantasies, illusions, delusions, and getting with the program. So yeah, Aries, super in reverse. Aries female, this looks incredibly heavy, I have to say, crikey. The book, the cross and the anchor. You might be doing a lot of religious studies this can relate to. You might have a lot of secrets that you're burying or that you're holding on to that are weighing down on you. There's some serious karma in these cards. You might be suppressing your feelings. I did get let your love flow. So you may be or have been undecided about someone emotionally, possibly romantically, and I think you're finding this really hard to let go of. You could even have some sort of religious differences with the person if it is romantic, but I really do feel that you're almost immovable in whatever direction you've chosen to go in, and if you haven't been, you are getting very clear on it this week, Aries. So your spiritual path, your religious path, your what you're choosing to study, what you want to do for a living with the anchor can represent your actual job, your livelihood. You're just totally rigid. I would say that would be a negative, but with the complete commitment card and Seven of Cups in reverse, not necessarily so. I just think you're just super clear. It's super clear, and this is your path and nobody gets to shove you off it. I do think that you might be sort of, if you do have a romantic interest, if there is someone that you're keen on or you're in a relationship with, you might have to let things flow a little bit easier, because this almost feels like a weight on your heart. So you may have some, I don't know, like huge moralistic differences or huge religious differences. That feels like I don't know what it is specifically for you, Aries. I don't think you're able to be budged on this. Your commitment is set. So whether that involves someone else, I do not know. I don't really get that feeling, but I did get let your love flow. So just you need to maybe double check that you're not being too rigid in your direction that you have or will have chosen this week. For my Aries men, you have the Child and the dice. This is really lovely. This is just taking a risk on something brand new. It can be that you're maybe thinking of having a child, and that's what you're getting clear on in the direction that you choose to go in. But the child is all about new beginnings, innocent. It's a return to like childlike wonder and naivety. It is a bit like the Fool card, this combination. So again, with the Seven of Cups reversed, there is this removal of any sort of illusions. It does feel like a bit of a risk for you, Aries man, but with complete commitment here, again, there's a path that you are prepared to go down. It feels like a risk, but it seems like a really good one at that. And you're under no illusions as to what you're getting into, albeit there's a sense of wonder and maybe excitement about this. It does feel really positive for my Aries men. For my Aries women, it feels a lot heavier. For Leo, you've got the Nine of Wands in reverse this week. Whatever weight you've been carrying, I know it's not the Ten of Wands, but this almost feels like there's a burning of boundaries here. Again, it's coming back to this complete commitment. The feels from my fire signs that you're all choosing to release yourself from something and choosing whatever path that may be for you. The Nine of Wands in its upright position, you know, it's usually my wounded warrior. This guy is utterly exhausted. Utterly exhausted. He's dealt with all the 8 wands behind him. He's just got one, and this is just, it's like a crutch that he's hanging on to for dear life here. To try and get him back on his feet, it feels like pure exhaustion, and there is a feeling of you know, giving up, but not giving up in a negative way necessarily, especially for the females here. It does feel like you're having to, you know, reassess your boundaries. Maybe your boundaries have been too high, or whatever you are being, you know, trying to prevent here. It's almost sort of verging into a kind of, no, it's not torment. Torment feels too harsh. Paranoia. The defensiveness needs to be dropped because it's verging into paranoia, basically. You need to go back a step here. And I think for my Leo women, I've actually got, this might be like some hot communication coming in this week. But with the bridge here, this is burning down your boundaries. It feels like whatever this offer is, and the bouquet card is beautiful. This is an invitation. It can be like a surprise gift. It is about pleasure, and I mean, it literally could be a bunch of flowers. I feel that there's really well-intended, hot and passionate communication possibly coming your way that's going to melt your boundaries, basically. This is some sort of announcement with a letter. It can be, you know, in this day and age, it's just a text or an email. There is communication coming in here, and it is really beautiful. It's almost like the perfectly put together. I mean, it could be an apology with the Nine of Wands. I'm not really feeling that. I just feel it's just the perfectly constructed communication that's going to allow you, or, you know, to drop some of your boundaries. It could go the entirely opposite way, you understand, Leo. This communication could burn any, you know, last remaining embers of connection you have with someone. But with the Mermaid of Immersion, I feel that this is quite the opposite. I do. If you've not been prepared to commit in a certain direction, or the person you've connected with, this feels like a melting away. It almost feels like relief. Leo males, you seem very much concentrated on the money this week. This doesn't feel romantic for you at all. There's something, this is hard work for you, Leo, I feel, especially with the whip here. The whip in this combination can be like really aggressively pursuing a job, or, you know, just improving your finances, or a business deal, an investment, that sort of thing. There might be a lot of arguments, there might be a lot of communication coming in this week, which is, again, quite exhausting. But it almost feels like it's time for something to switch up. It doesn't feel negative at all. It really doesn't. This Nine of Wands in reverse doesn't feel negative for me. It almost feels like somebody there might be a heated debate about it, but there's some sort of compromise that is to be had here. It's time to sort of come together, get around the table, and just choose what to do about a particular issue. And the issue for you seems to be with regards to your money, or your investments, or your business, or your trade, whatever that may be for you, Leo. Walking on broken glass. So it's a fairly, for Leos, I feel it's a fairly sensitive issue. Try not to, like, you know, escalate any issues. You know, there is a lot of fire here, especially with the bridges. It can kind of, there's just heat. There's a lot of heat. And with them, I know that this is the female and not the masculine card with the whip here, but it can be aggressive communication here. So yeah, you need to be, you know, handling the situation as delicately as you possibly can, but ultimately it does seem that there is a drop of defenses, which will lead people to the ability to commit in a certain direction, whatever that may be for you, Leo. Moving on to Sagittarius, and we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is excellent. So this is coming out of a period of fear in the main. I think there's been a lot of sleepless nights here. Someone's felt a need to protect themselves. If you look at her in the upright position, she's got the owl here at the window that's keeping her awake at night. She's got her heart protected. This is like waking up, you know, your 3 to 5 a.m. slot every night, looking for answers, looking for guidance. That's ending. That's ending with the Nine of Swords in reverse here. This is probably some sort of relief again from anything that's tormented you or worried you or kept you awake at night. With my Sagittarius women, it is with regards to the ring, the labyrinth, and the bear. Probably work related in the main. The bear would usually be business. It can be a mother. Feeling that you're going around in circles here. The ring can be about cycles that just keep coming around and around and around, and especially with the labyrinth, this is not knowing which way to go, constantly hitting dead ends, just not being able to resolve an issue. It could be with a boss, it could be with your job, it could be just with a dominant person in your life that has maybe deliberately or unintentionally cause confusing, you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean, but you know what I mean. You've just been going round in circles with the same thing. It's been keeping you up at night, but there is some sort of resolution here. It might be that with the bear here could represent you, and you might just be, you know, taking control of the situation is often what the bear can mean. This is, you know, powering up, being the mummy, being the daddy, being the boss, feeling more able to cope with something that's been troubling you for quite some time. I do have at the base of the decks for all my air signs the Ace of Cups and the Tree card. These are lovely cards. This is, it can be growing love. It can be about your health. This is a return to health. This is feeling really positive. There might be something new coming into your life on the love front. It can be a baby for some people. They might be, you know, finding out they're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, and this would be like your, you know, your first 12-week scan comes in and it's brilliant. It's just all really positive here, because whatever is going down for each and every one of you, you are going to be able to choose a direction to go in and be really committed to it. For my Sagittarius men, the mountain with the mice is a reduction in boundaries. Again, coming back to that Nine of Wands, they're all related. This is where you have had blocks, where you have had delays. I mean, the Mountain card can be up to 2 years. There's an alleviation of whatever has prevented you moving in the direction that you want, and now you've got a brand new compass and setting a new direction. So really, really positive for all the signs, really. I do think my Aries woman is probably the most difficult this week, and maybe my Leo men. The rest of it looks awesome. I just think my Aries woman needs to soften up a little bit. You might need to open your mind a wee bit to other possibilities. Even though you're really clear on your path, it just feels a little bit too rigid, is what I'm going to say. So guys, that's your reading for the week beginning the 28th of August or the 29th, whenever. Look after yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.